Welcome to mikegoldengames and welcome to another benchmark video. This one we are doing Red Dead Redemption 2 and we are using maxed ultra settings. We are going to play in 1080p because the RTX 3080 XC3 by EVGA, it still only has 10 gigabytes of VRAM, and I tried to max everything out on 4K and it was using more VRAM than the card had to offer. So that's where I guess the 3090 would come in with the clutch, with the 24 gigs of VRAM, or wait till the new AMD graphics card comes out, the 6900, which has 16 gigs of RAM across all their new cards that are coming out this year. Anyways, let's get into it. We're just going to run benchmark on max settings at 1080p. Just to show you, go to graphics here. We're using 7,826 megabytes of video memory. Looks like it's only 6,153 for RDR2. Other apps are using about 1,673. That could be because we're using OBS Studio to record these benchmarks, which is why we're doing it at 1080p and not 4K, because it's a lot to handle. Like I said, we are using the GeForce RTX 3080 XC3 Ultra by EVGA. We also have the Corsair AIO liquid cooler. We are using the Ryzen 9 3900X currently on the Asus Crosshair 8 Formula motherboard with the Corsair 240mm AIO liquid cooler. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty decent liquid cooler. This thing keeps the CPU damn cool. Right now I'm looking at the readout on the motherboard. It says 40 degrees Celsius. On the in-screen display it shows 48 degrees Celsius. Anyways, let's run the benchmark, get into it, and see how it goes. The other thing I've come to notice, like in the Grand Theft Auto 5 ones, the modded version definitely was a lot more laggy on the recording side, where the actual gameplay itself looked fine. For some reason, the recording software, OBS Studio, just seemed to be lagging a little more in the modded version of GTA. So I may still need to do some tweaks to it, but the gameplay itself looks flawless. So whatever you're seeing, if it's lagging, I mean, you'll be able to see with the FPS counter in-game. But, yeah, if it seems laggy on this recording, but it's showing like 60 FPS, it's just for some reason the recording software needs to be fine-tuned a little more. Even though I'm using the same setup that I was using on my old PC, that was a Windows, it was an Intel 4790K processor on basically the same class of motherboard. It was another Asus formula, but for the, old... Oh, I don't even remember what the CPU... the old 4790K processor. So it looks like with Red Dead's benchmark, it just keeps playing until you end it, which is a little odd. You know, Grand Theft Auto 5's literally just ends. They don't even give you the FPS count. The whole time they did give you the counter, though, where this one only gives it to you once you finish it. So it looks like minimum FPS was 32.9 FPS, maximum of 69.44 FPS. That's pretty awesome. An average FPS of 46.9. A little interesting since we are on the 3080 graphics card. But, I mean, like I said, this is maxed ultra settings. Basically, everything just ramped up. And we are also recording it. So, this is, I think, where a dual PC setup would really come in handy for doing these benchmarks. That way your GPU can fully focus on just the game instead of, you know, your computer, your CPU, and your GPU kind of working together to record it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Maybe if you have some suggestions, if you do benchmarking yourself, let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. It really does help me out when you do that. Maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already, as well as hitting the little bell icon on the channel. That way you stay notified when the videos go up and when we do live streams. Alright guys, take it easy.